So it's a big movie day today.
Yeah.
We kind of held off on watching Split for a while, and now it's time for us to watch Split. But as well as that, we also have John Wick 2.
And Lego Batman.
We already saw Lego Batman, but we are going to watch it in IMAX because, I mean, it's IMAX, so we got to check it out. But first, we got to go to the Best Buy and pick up the Lego Dimensions of Lego Batman.
Yeah, so excited, the story pack.
Oh my god, we got the Lego Dimensions! The Lego Dimensions! Yes, story pack! Ready to put this together! Look at that! Oh yeah, I know who I'm playing as. I'm playing as Batgirl!
So we spent a little too much time at the Best Buy reminiscing with an old friend. So we've got to get back to our neck of the woods so that way we can hit the first movie. That way it leads into the second movie and the third movie all on time so we can binge these movies today. Now, a schedule is like a house of cards. Take one away and they all come tumbling down.
Yes! Yes! And we made it.
Just barely.
Just barely. We have found our parking spots.
Gotta make it. We're gonna make it. And of course it's all the way at the end. And we're here.
He's done awful things to people, and he'll do awful things to you.
So we made it into Split just fine.
Yes.
There was only like 2 trailers left before the movie started, but oh my god.
So, the movie itself is great. I think James McAvoy did an amazing job doing these multiple different personalities within himself, and you can kind of tell that he was these different people. It wasn't him. You know, every time he would change to one character to another, you're kind of like, oh, I know which character that is. I know which character that is. Instead of being like, wait, which one is he playing now? So that was really good.
And the female protagonists, I mean, 2 of them were kind of just there for show. The primary one, she did an amazing job. I mean, could cry on command constantly, so I give it to her. But yeah, McAvoy was the star of the show, obviously, because he did such an amazing job. I do love how M. Night went back to his old school camera style.
Yeah, there was definitely a scene at the beginning, at the very beginning of the movie, where it goes back and forth. And if any of you guys have seen Unbreakable, you can see like at the beginning of that movie as well, where he shifts the camera back and forth between seats, whereas this was like a car thing.
Yeah, using a divider, but all in all, the conversation was fluent with one shot, just going back and forth, which they did do with David Dunn on the train in the beginning of Unbreakable. So bringing that style of camera back to this one. Now getting into the reason why we waited so long to watch this movie. So many people have been telling us online that it is something that we really need to watch, and thank you so much for not spoiling it for us. Yes. Everybody did an amazing job with just trying to get us to see it. Unfortunately, it wasn't until somebody really gave us that comparison.
Yes, so one of his friends told him that he needed to go see this movie. He asked him what his favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie was, and he said Unbreakable, which Unbreakable is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But
that was really the catalyst.
And that one, he's like, oh, you really need to go see this movie. And we're telling you, if you've seen Unbreakable
and you haven't seen Split yet,
go see this movie.
You really need to come check out this movie. And I wish somebody would have told me that, you know, in the beginning, because that would have given me that driving force. Because M. Night Shyamalan has definitely kind of been a letdown in my book, obviously in a lot of people's books. But man, there was a specific point when he first started out that I was really hoping for more from a story point of view with what he was creating in the beginning, and we never got it. He just went on, became a bigger director, and then he kind of became very shticky. But
yeah, now he's stepping back and going full-fledged, and I can't wait to see what he brings to the next movie that he's doing.
And the ending, I could see how the ending, we've been hearing that the ending was kind of confusing to a lot of people, but again, if you are a fan of his earlier work, there was a specific point when the James Newton Howard music hit, and I just got giddy the entire time because I knew what was happening and what was coming. So I know M. Night Shyamalan did say something about how he was going to continue on in this universe, and if you saw Split, you already know what's coming, and I cannot wait. I am excited. It's crazy to say that about M. Night Shyamalan. I'm over the moon excited for what's to come in this series.
I can't wait either.
So I would.
He's coming back.
Yeah. So for me, I would give this one a 4.5 out of 5.
I would do 4.5 out of 5 too.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Maybe 4.0 if we try and not attach it to anything from
I still think it's a
storyline.
I still think it's a 4.5, just based off of what James McAvoy did with the characters that he played.
Yeah, 4.5. You talked me into it.
Yeah.
But now, because we decided to do a trio, we are going to go watch Lego Batman again.
And if you haven't, we already saw it. We're going to go see it again. If you go watch our review on that, it's on our channel.
Yeah, check out our non-spoiler review because there are a lot of fun things that happen that we prefer you didn't get spoiled.
Yes.
If you want to do a spoiler review, because we're not going to do a spoiler review, you can head over to Nerd Build.
Yes, they went full-fledged. It's a podcast, but they talk about the Lego Batman and full-on spoilers. So if you want to listen to that, go talk to them. Go listen to them
talk
podcast.
about it.
Yes,
we'll put a link down below where you can find that, but they're wherever podcasts are, and you can find them there. But it is time for Lego Batman in IMAX.
Batman, you think my muscles are big? You haven't seen my brain. Ladies, it's okay if you stare.
So we just got back from John Wick 2.
Yes. And what I could say about the movie is that it's so much fun. I had a lot of fun. I laughed a lot. I really did, actually. Not because there was jokes that were like super funny or somebody said funny. It was just like the action and the way that he would go after these men. It just made me laugh. Like,
some of the choreography did come off a little humorous because it was just so out there and crazy, but yet realistic. And it was just like those chuckles throughout the audience where it was like, damn, like, oh my god, that actually just happened, and I've never seen that happen before. And
I really loved the beginning of the movie too, when they kind of tied in the first movie to this movie, and then it was small, yet they made it bigger in a way, like in a good way.
You could tell they had a bigger budget and it was a bigger movie.
Right. I mean, usually when we watch a movie that is small and then they decide to go bigger, it kind of is overwhelming and it doesn't really fit. But this movie, it does. It was small but big at the same time, and I enjoyed it.
Now, as for villains, I did feel more of a payoff in the first movie when he went after the villains just because of what what they did to him. And in this one, it's more getting into the inner workings of the Continental and the Assassins League.
The whole universe of what his job is and what he does. You kind of go more in depth with it, I guess.
Which is what I loved the most about it, was that they did dive deeper into the Continental and that whole world, which I love seeing more levels to that. And the story just moved forward, and that's what I really enjoyed. By the time it was over, the movie felt like it was progressing into the world. Like, it felt like a chapter 2, and if they want to keep going with it, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, they did kind of left it so that they could come back to it.
Which is funny, because in the first one, they kind of left it to where it could end, and if they wanted to, they'd have to kind of scrape it. We thought they'd have to scrape a sequel together to get it to keep going, but...
I mean, there's some of the characters in this movie that I was kind of just like, meh, like, I didn't really care.
Not as much as you did in the first one, yeah.
But other than that, there were some cool like sequences that happens like in the movie during like a lot of the stuff at the end, I guess, and that was cool. And just like he said, diving deeper into the Continental and seeing that there's other places, like it's just a network basically of these and then
a syndicate.
There's a part I want to say, but I can't. I don't want to ruin it for you. There's a part in the movie, like a couple parts in the movie, but this part in the movie, like I really liked. It's almost like phone operators. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I really liked that part of this movie.
There is a style. There is a style with this syndicate. There's a style with the Continental. Just how this world exists. I love the style of this world. Yeah. The fight scenes and the choreography were in the forefront, but I was constantly finding myself watching the background and the layout of this world that they were in, because that's one thing that they really did well with the first one, is visually stunning, yes. Very artistic looking, and they do carry that over. And I was looking for that kind of in the beginning. In the beginning, it's kind of rugged and rough, and it's gritty. And then it goes into the more, ritzier side of this assassin syndicate. I don't even really know what they call them besides a Continental.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple things that were kind of questionable that he did, and I was just like,
Two things. John Wick, just, what are you doing, man? And second, why does everyone keep trying to screw with John Wick? Like, he's a boogeyman and everybody talks about how they fear him, but yet people keep screwing around with him.
That's because these people are all cocky and they think that, like, when they have, like when you hear a story about something, they're like, oh, that's nothing, I could take that person down, kind of thing. That's the mentality that I got from all these assassins. We're like, what?
But then on the same side, it's like, John Wick, what you doing? You're burying yourself even deeper in this hole. And I can't wait to see if this world opens up. Yeah, and I'm really excited for them. I hope it does well this weekend and the following weekends after. I know it's got a lot going up against with Lego Batman, which we also saw, and then going up against the darker 50 Shades of Grey, some
50
slate,
Shades darker,
carbonite. Charcoal? Yes. Yeah, that's the color. But either way, thank you guys for joining us for this entire day of movie watching. I mean, it's exhausting to watch that many in a row. But yeah, we had a lot of fun, and we can't wait to do it again, but I hope it's not so soon, because it is exhausting. But you can always find us on our social networking sites.
Yes, at Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram.
And now it's time to go to bed. I'm freaking exhausted. Goodbye.
Bye.